men, especially in the Trayvon Martin case, because I know a lot of people were trying to say that, well, where are these stereotypes coming from? A lot of people say that they're coming from young African-American men such as yourself in the industry of rap, putting out, this image, and they are, being engraved into people's psyches. And as a result, that may have what happened on that February night in Sanford. Do you think that is the case, being someone involved in the rap industry?
I think hoods were here before hip hop, so there's always gonna be blame for something. There's always gonna be race involved. Just like with hip hop, by it being a black cultural foundation, we label that. Well, it was labeled as something bad. Now, alongside that, someone walking down the street wearing a hoodie, that also gets labeled as because of hip hop. This boy was walking down the street with a hoodie on. Hoodie's been here before hip hop was here. People want to blame something, want to label something, want to divide something, want to, put something on something. And it's not even like that. It shouldn't even be that way. You know what I'm saying? So this young man walking down the street with a hoodie on, it could have been cold that day. He could have been white. He could have been Hispanic. That's just what it was. It was a young man walking down the street with a hoodie on. Now the problem was whether George Zimmerman was white, was Hispanic. He took that as, who are you? What are you doing over here? And I can't see your face. You got this hood on and something looks crazy. And he attacked the boy. And I don't know what his issue was. I can't judge him on that. I know that he's been in trouble a bunch of times in his past. And the people looking at that resume of things going on is like, he had this coming. He's gotten away with so many things because his father is a judge. And I don't know, I think in the beginning, I thought he was going to get away with this because his father's a judge, and watching the rap sheet and how many things he's gotten away with. But, I mean, when black people did things in the past, that was an example set to let other blacks know you can't do this because us whites don't play that. This time, it was a black kid, and thanks to the state attorney, an example has been made towards George Zimmerman to say, hey, you can't just walk up to somebody and shoot them. This time, whether they black or not, you can't do that. So I'm actually not glad that he got, charged with the second degree, but I feel like, hey, one compared to hundreds in the past being black, one person on this end, whether he's Hispanic, white, or whatever, it's an example. Like maybe people to say I can't do that. Look what happened to Zimmerman. 5 years from now, look what happened to Zimmerman. They make a better choice before they point a gun or attack a black person.
In other words, you feel that they made the state attorney's office made an example out of George Zimmerman.
I feel like that is what happened, and maybe it was needed, but I also want to make sure that it's known. I can't judge George Zimmerman, but the state attorney did her job, and I feel like she is trying to set a mark there that you just can't walk up to a black kid and do that, and that's kind of like finally someone has done that, because that's not the case in the past.
I noticed you said that you can't walk up to a black kid and do that. Why black? Why not just a kid? Why not just a child walking through a neighborhood?
It's wrong, like you said. Whether if the roles were switched, and Zimmerman was a black guy, and Trayvon Martin was a white or Hispanic kid, it's wrong either way. I said that on point in case that so many times in the past, this thing has happened to black kids, and nothing was really done about it. And I'm just saying that to say that when a black guy did something to somebody that's white or whatever, an example was made so that other blacks would say, they hanging you by the tree. We can't do this. We can't do that. But this time around, George Zimmerman, he got the second degree charge. And I'm hoping that with that charge, it's like that's an example to others that you just cannot walk up to a black kid and just do this and think no one is going to do anything about it, because in the past that's how it's been. No one has done anything about it. So, if that's an example, if that's what the state attorney was trying to do, then I feel like that part was just.
Audreanna, I want to switch over here to you a little bit. When the state attorney's office, because earlier today, the state attorney's office released, there was an affidavit that was released saying that George Zimmerman, quote, profiled Trayvon. They didn't necessarily say how, but that he was profiled. Besides race, okay, what other factor do you think may have gone into George Zimmerman's decision to possibly confront Trayvon Martin or think that he was suspicious?
Well, I think with it being a gated community and he may not have seen Trayvon Martin in that neighborhood before, so seeing someone new that may have already put some suspicion in his mind, and then the time of night that may have put some suspicion, and then the hoodie itself, and the way Trayvon could have been walking, it could have been anything. Or he could have just been having, a bad day and then, saw that and then, got a little suspicious, like what's going on, and then just took it to the extreme, what he did see. So that's what I think.
And I think you make a good point about that, having a bad day, because, the present state of your mind can really affect how you view everything else, especially if I'm having a really bad day or if I'm very aggravated or irritated. I'm more quick to respond to things that I probably shouldn't. Sometimes that's just how it is. And I think overall, like I said, I think the world will definitely be watching this case. That much I can say. And one thing that Al Sharpton made very clear a couple days ago, when this, a lot of people say this verdict, it was not a verdict, it was a charge. It was not a verdict, it's a charge. That Al Sharpton made it clear that this is not over. This is only the first base, and that this is not a victory. So he said there should be no hoo-has, there should be no high fives, because they still lost their son. And so this should not be a celebration. We're not going to throw any parties. So now that a charge has been made, all we have to do as a public is sit, wait, watch, and let justice do its work. I want to thank you three so much for coming this way to Jacksonville, Alabama, and sharing your expertise on what it is like for the Atlanta entertainment industry, the Atlanta media industry, to Miss Sha Clark, who is the CEO of Atlanta-based marketing and promotions company Deliciously Crunk Entertainment, to Miss Audreanna Hatcher, who is her executive assistant, and to Atlanta-based R&B and rap artist Mr. Kayto Reed. I thank you all so much for taking the time.
Thank you for inviting us.
For taking the time to come down here. Like I said, Sha, I know we've Audreanna and Sha both, I've spoken to you. We spoke to them because we were originally supposed to have this show on the day of the Whitney Houston tribute, which was February 17th. Of course, that once that news broke, we had to move this show back to today, to now, to the very end of the season practically. And so we've been literally had this show up in the air for 2 months. And I'm so glad that we finally were able to pull this off. Well, ladies and gentlemen, this is the very last show before the next week's season 2 finale special. We will be bringing guests from season 2 who have been a part of this phenomenal time that we've had since January the 20th, which was our season 2 premiere show. And next week we will also be bringing in listeners of Late Night with Ed Moore III who have listened in this season for season 2, and they're going to give their perspective on how the season went and give a listener's perspective on what it is like standing by their radios or standing by their computers for the Late Night with Ed Moore III show. And I won't shed any tears now. And as far as the finale is concerned, It is quite a night that I'll be looking forward to. We've had over 40 guests on this show this season, and just to think of that, just to think of the journey that the show has made since season 1 is phenomenal for me. So I look forward to seeing all of you next week for the Late Night with Ed Moore, the 3rd season 2 finale. Alongside, like I said, to Miss Sha Clark, to Miss Audreanna Hatcher, and to Mr. Kayto Reed. Thank you so much for coming in. They drove in here from Atlanta, you all. They just came into the city just a couple of hours ago to be a part of this, and I really want to thank you all for being a part of this. And make sure you all keep updates on the Late Night with Ed Moore, the 3rd webpage. I will be sending you updates on there as well in regards to the Trayvon Martin case. On the Late Night with Ed Moore, the 3rd Facebook page, I will be sending you information regarding the Trayvon Martin case in there. So, because like I said, the case is not over yet. So if you stay tuned on there, and you will know all you need to know. It is 58 minutes past the hour here on 91.9 FM, WLJS Jacksonville. I will see you all next week for the finale. Good night, everybody.
About who I am, so you can go ahead and talk all you wanna. I built up a shell and it's hard as far more. It seems like every step I take up, drama comes along with the bread I cake up. But you ain't doing nothing if you don't have haters. So I welcome you to do what's in your nature. I'm like a jet airplane, way too high to hear you throwing salt on my name. I know I'm not the only one. Love to hate you, go and throw your hands up. Go ahead and spread your wings, cause you gotta fly above. I fly above all the drama. I fly above. I fly above. I fly above. It's beneath me. It's beneath me. It's beneath me. So I fly above all the haters. I fly above. I fly above. I fly above. It's beneath me. It's beneath me. It's beneath me. Everybody hating cause you fly, then gon' throw your hands in the sky. If people jealous cause you live your life, then gon' throw your hands in the sky. See, I can't even worry about you and your insecurities. The only thing that matters is my family and G.O.D. I'm a shooting star, but my feet still on the ground. And when you're flying high, they just wanna shoot you down. I'm like a jet airplane, way too high to hear you throwing on my name. I know I'm not the only one. People love to hate you. Go and throw your hands up. Go ahead and spread your wings, cause you gotta fly above. I fly above all the drama. I fly above. I fly above. I fly above. It's beneath me. It's beneath me. It's beneath me. So I fly above all the haters. I fly above. I fly above. I fly above. It's beneath me. It's beneath me. It's beneath me. All you haters, you're the wind beneath my wings. Beneath my wings. You just make me fly higher, higher, higher. Oh, you just make me fly. Make me fly high. Make me fly high. Make me fly high. You just make me fly. Make me fly higher. I'm like a jet airplane, way too high to hear you throwing salt on my name. I know I'm not the only one.